Nice to meet you all. Dear board, other participants in this conference. I'm Erla Björk Örnólfsdóttir, the Rector of Holar University College. I'm going to introduce myself correctly today. I did not do that at the University of Bifröst yesterday, and I all of a sudden was the Rector of the University of Bifröst. So this is how my mind can be scattered, so I'm going to try to stay with Holar University College today. So what my point of view and my view here today is to basically share with you our experience of the last year. I will not so much go into the details of the reports, they are available, but I will focus on what we learned and what we think we could share with you and you could benefit from. So we started out with the institutional review without having the departmental reviews. That is an initial challenge, but it also creates a very wonderful framework for all our departmental reviews hereafter. So now we have a big picture and we can fit the departmental reviews within that. So that's a great starting point. We have identified fields of where we need to improve our conditions. We will reflect on the departmental reviews with that notion. And we are already at the part where we can, as stated in the handbook, we can learn from the past to prepare for the future. I am going to split this presentation into boxes. One of them is the preparation of the reflective analysis, then the presentation and preparation for the review visit, the visit itself, and then the report. We are a very young university, HUC. HUC is like a 5 to 6 years, depending how you quantify it. And we diagnosed an emerging development and maturation of the university by writing the report. There is a limited statistical information on hand when we started writing the report, and that was a concern to us. The public universities in Iceland are now initiating an analysis and the questionnaire to figure out the experience of graduate students from the public universities. So in the future that is going to be better. We would have liked to have that on hand when we did it, but this is fine. We also, with this information, realized that in terms of research activities, the Holar University College ranked as second out of the 4 public universities when we were comparing with one of the comparisons which we did have. So when we look into where we are standing very strong. We also realized that each one of the departments has unique strengths and unique areas for improvement. And we, in our reflective analysis, diagnosed several issues of improvements, but there were no great surprises. This is kind of beneficial when you find the reflective analysis. We were pleasantly surprised, though, when we were preparing for the visit and combining all the groups of people to participate in the visit of the review team, how incredibly supportive the industry, the university members and collaborators, and the former students were. And that was a very pleasant experience. There was also an increasing awareness among our staff about the value of enhancement. So basically the report of our or the findings of our reflective analysis already percolated the Holar environment by March. So that is a point 2 of a positive experience. There was a very positive atmosphere for the visit and anticipation for feedback. So that was a very wonderful part as well. During the visit, the first half day where you can do whatever you want, incredibly valuable. Great fun, and I think it was very beneficial for everybody, both us and the review team, because it was completely informal. And I think through the report, we benefited from that greatly. So if you can elongate the informal part, please do, because that is where the fun takes place. I'm saying that because my next point is that during the meetings, we felt that they were brief. So this 45 minutes to discuss the issues with the different group of staff or alumni or whoever it is, they were fairly brief, but maybe they were also brief because we chose to have the full number of participants in every group. So when you get the guidance, you get a range of how many people you can have. So my advice would be I would critically think for the next time. I would critically think whom I would engage, and if we want to have 6 members or 9 members, or if whom to be there, because number is not everything. So sometimes less is more. So I think that is one of the things we learned. Another thing we learned is that there are language barriers. Mm-hmm. So we at times got lost in translation. This translation can be either the pure language barrier, but also maybe our culture of communication. So being the Icelander which does everything quick and easy may also be part of the barrier, is that we have different ways of expressing ourselves. And that's something I think for the next review I will be aware of. And for the department reviews, I think it's important to put yourself also in the steps of others. But overall it was good. Having had the visit, the next step was to receive the overall points, as was mentioned by Rita. What we do well and what needs to be improved. There is a general consensus between the reflective analysis produced by HUC and the report you can read on the internet, the public report, which means that we diagnosed similar and the same issues as was apparent to the review team. So what you see there is the general improvements which need to be conducted. How will we go about that? As mentioned already, we are going to put that into our strategic plan, which surprisingly has the same time frame as the Agriculture University. So we are at the last year of our former plan, so we have to implement a new plan for 2014 to 2018, which actually is quite a positive thing as well, because both of our universities are now one of the public universities in Iceland as of the year 2013. So we are entering the new strategic plan as one of the 4 members of the public universities, which we were not officially before that. So that can also feed into our dialogue and discussions with new board of directors. So this is where we are going to head with our information, which we have on hand, both from our internal and from the external, because there's not all of the recommendations of the review team are the same as ours, so we will do what we analyze in the reflective analysis as well as what is diagnosed in the report you have on hand. Ain't you curious now about seeing our report? So this is what I was trying to lure you to think about. But overall, this was a very useful procedure. It's so beneficial because very often we intend to improve and do better, both in our private lives and in our work, but we don't really do it unless we get the push. And this work is the push which helps us. It's not the push which is mandatory or is bad or is a negative feedback. It's one of those joyous things, like me having my dog to take myself out to exercise more. He's not a burden, he's a pleasure. This is the same. Thank you.